I have my little sidekick here, Chloe. She is 2.5 months old, and I'm going to be using her today to show you how to prevent pain. So one of the biggest complaints about pain that I hear is pain at the joint where the thumb meets the wrist. So people know about that as like gamer's thumb, texter's thumb, but I call it mama's thumb. But I want to show you why we have that pain. If you see how I'm holding my baby, you can see that my thumb is really far apart from the rest of my fingers, making almost an L. So that L shape puts a lot of stress on the wrist joint. And if you can see, I am putting a lot of the baby's weight on my wrist. So static positions like this, like holding your baby as they get bigger and bigger, because typically pain arrives around 2 to 4 weeks postpartum. That pain or that load makes that wrist get weaker and weaker and puts a lot of stress on that wrist, especially if we are in that L position. So this L position is the position that you do want to avoid wrist pain. So whether or not you're holding your baby for a long time, patting their booty, trying to get them to sleep, or whether or not you are breastfeeding, bottle feeding, rocking, pushing a stroller, anything like that, you do want to avoid this L position. This is the position that causes pain. So what you can do in any situation, try to get your thumb as close to your fingers as possible and have it more like of a cupping motion. And when you do that, you are putting a lot of the baby's weight on your forearm, so you're cupping. Now granted, this is causing you to flex your wrist just a little bit, but if you see, I am holding the weight in my forearm. I'm no longer holding it in my wrist joint. So this makes it a lot easier on my wrist. Or you can change the way you're holding the baby. You can hold it even higher up like this, and this gives your baby a lot of support and it gives your wrist a break. So see, I can even relax my wrist and I'm still supporting the baby. And what you want to do is make sure that you're holding the baby with your bigger joints, such as your elbow or your forearm, as much as possible.